Hey guys, it's Timmy, and this is Pro Wrestling Unlimited, as we are here on the 15th of October, 2019, to talk about everything that went down in pro wrestling over the last week, as we've got the PWUnlimited podcast, seeing the people that are with us in the live chat, and also, we've got Nick with us. What's going on?
Boy, I'm excited for this show. I'm so fucking... Destiny 2 finished installing. I'm very excited for this show. This is the first show that I'm not, doing in my new home. I moved out, for those that were wondering. So if it sounds super echoey or if you hear, a fridge or hear typing in the background, I have my roommate. But we have a fridge in the room as well, so it's going to go off. But we're still working on the sound shit. I'm going to get sound foaming eventually, just to kind of fix all that up. But welcome to the show, everybody. Thank you guys for tuning in, taking a look at the chat. Winston Quatro. I know it says Quattro, but I refuse to accept anything else. Woken King is here. Luke might sub to me if you want communism.
Okay, then.
Better subscribe to him right now. Gabriel Perez is here. As always, we have Chris McNutt as well, Henry McKenna, and Claire. There's a shit ton of stuff to talk about today.
There is.
And there's that fucking fridge. I just want to let you know, the only thing in this fridge right now are 3 Monster Energies, juice, a jug of milk, and Bud Light. Depressed.
Great combo, beer and milk.
I took a shot of Jack Daniels yesterday morning with breakfast and chased it with milk. Fucking dog shit. It was just, I hate myself for it. But the first thing that I want to kind of lead tonight off, I'm really excited that they're re-releasing WWF No Mercy for the N64, but on modern consoles. Good lord, that game looks like shit. That's a $60 game.
Yeah, I don't know. I said on Twitter, I said 2K20 doesn't look that good, and I don't know if this is because Ukes left or if it just wasn't gonna look that good at all. But that's the one.
I'm gonna be honest, I thought Ukes stopped doing it long ago.
No, Ukes left this year, and that's why they waited so long to start showing stuff and start actually announcing things for the game, because basically the 2K people had to work double time to do all the stuff that the Ukes people were doing. Mm-hmm. At least that's how they said it, and that's how I interpreted it. So, but look, the game,
I'm gonna be honest with you. There is a game that came out in the year 2007 that I play to this day called Team Fortress 2. That is a 12-year-old game, and it looks significantly better than this goddamn piece of shit game.
Yeah, no, this game just and I know there's been people online. Why are you criticizing the game from clips you see on Twitter that were taken from YouTube? You know, the quality's down off of that. Wait till you get the real game.
Bad already?
No.
No.
I love when people wait till you get the real game. It'll look better on your TV. No. And then, did you see that My Career Mode thing when they're in a high school cafeteria?
They're in a lunchroom, gonna get fucking bullied for being a wrestling fan.
Such bad. Who wrote that? Vince?
Fuck, man. You say that as if he didn't think this is the greatest thing on the planet. Do it, pal.
But it's just
high school.
There's so much in this game that doesn't look good. And granted, I have seen some character models. I'm like, dang, that does look good. But I've also seen a lot that doesn't.
Yeah, I haven't. I'm going to be honest with you. I haven't seen a single thing that looks good.
Well, I've seen a couple the character models, the screenshots of the characters in the loading screen when you're picking your wrestler.
Look, the screenshots of those characters don't look good.
Well, no. I've seen a couple that looked good. An old school Undertaker one looked good, like Biker Undertaker. I saw.
They don't have 98 Cain.
Yeah, they also have less wrestlers than last year.
1998 Cain is the best version of Cain.
Very true.
I'm saying that right now. What do you guys think of the game? I want to know. Okay, well, Trayvon Womack says something that isn't necessarily true. He says that all sports games, well, he says are shit. They're not really shit. It's not the.
Have you played MLB The Show?
Jesus Christ, that was loud.
That's because MLB The Show looks great.
It does look fantastic.
It looks better than NBA 2K. I'd say Madden, but you really don't know because they all got helmets on.
Exactly. But I mean, it looks relatively fine enough. I mean, the stadium representations always look pretty good.
Oh yeah.
I'm excited to see. I think my favorite thing about most of those like 2K games has to be like arenas. The amount of detail that goes into some of like
They've
the classic
apparently
arenas and shit.
added a lot of new arenas and like new things to create an arena. Like when you create your barricades, the barricades can now be video boards.
See, that's at some point I think in a gameplay demo, I watched like Paige kill Asuka with the book.
Yeah, I saw that. Just like she opened a book and it glared in her and Oscar.
What is this fucking game?
They're adding way too much not needed unrealistic stuff.
Yeah. They're blurring the lines between like, because remember when SmackDown 07 came out, the commercial for that was like, this is just a wrestling game.
Yeah.
Like this is the closest you can get if you are not a professional wrestler to being involved in the wrestling. And now it's like, hey, fuck it, you trying to kill a bitch with a book? See, okay, I like I like how I complain about a book, but I don't complain about Asuka spraying green mist in like Becky Lynch's face to win a match.
I saw something. I didn't see the
What
video.
is that shit? What is that mist? What is that? What is it?
I don't know exactly. I don't know if it's like a blood capsule or something. I don't know. But going back to the video game really fast, I saw something. I didn't watch the video, but on the thumbnail of the video, it showed you can use a candy, like a lollipop.
Joey Ryan, who?
No, it was like one of those, like not a Tootsie Pop looking deal, but one of those lollipops, like the big ones that you know what I'm talking about, like a swirl.
Like the comically sized
Yes.
ones that you see like a clown have. Yeah.
I was like, what is? I don't want to hit somebody with that. I'm like, it better be realistic and stick to their hair.
You know what I miss?
What?
Remember in SmackDown 2007 where you could rip like from the crowd, you could take signs or you could take weapons from the crowd because for some reason the crowd was allowed chairs in that game.
Because for some reason you just grabbed a random guy's crutch out of the front row.
Yeah, I remember the crutch was my favorite. Oh, that was so good. What do you guys think about these? What was the last good wrestling game? Because you said SmackDown Here Comes the Pain. I'm sticking true to my guns and saying SmackDown
overall,
2007.
I thought Here Comes the Pain was always great.
Did they have the one where you fought on like you were Brock Lesnar and you were fighting on like a pier or something or like a dock, like a loading dock?
Huh?
Hold on.
I know it might have been like the Road to the games with Road to WrestleMania. Is that what you're talking about? Where you like in the load?
No, like do you know what a loading dock is like for ship?
Yeah.
Like you fight outdoors or some shit like that.
I'm gonna go with ship. I think you mean like a loading dock at an arena or something.
No. I'm looking this up. You can continue talking about your. Yeah, it was from Here Comes the Pain. You fight like there was one where it's like a mall. You could fight in a mall.
I think I remember what you're talking about now.
WWE game fight in mall. Jesus Christ. My Google search history is done. What is this? WrestleMania. What is XIX?
XIX?
Yeah.
Oh God, I don't even know.
That I don't know. 16?
No, 19.
Yeah, probably 19.
19.
Okay, so now here's my question. I asked what the best wrestling game is because we can also talk about what the worst wrestling game.
So you're talking about WrestleMania 19, the game on the GameCube?
Yes.
I know exactly what you're talking about now. Once you said WrestleMania 19, that game was nuts with the story mode where you could go. I don't even know where you were in that game.
Okay, because I think I have a very good contender for the worst wrestling game ever made. WWE All Stars.
All Stars was fun. It wasn't supposed to be realistic.
I mean, I guess, but
it was supposed to be like if WWE had a Tekken or something or a Mortal Kombat, but not as gory. It's their arcade game.
A very good second place to worst has to be Day of Reckoning.
Day of Reckoning 2, because Day of Reckoning 2 was worse than Day of Reckoning 1.
Those load screens were so goddamn long in Day of Reckoning. That's why I never played it.
Yeah.
Someone said
another WWE game that was on the GameCube but not that good.
Mm-hmm.
And then they had like WWE Survivor Series on the Game Boy Advance.
Legends of WrestleMania.
Yeah.
You ever play the official TNA game?
No, don't even get me started.
Wasn't great, man.
No.
What? Okay, so Tim, give me your. I don't know if you answered me, but in case you didn't, what is your favorite wrestling game?
My
All
favorite
time?
wrestling game. Here Comes the Pain. I'd have to say my favorite wrestling game is Here Comes the Pain.
That's about.
I don't know
What are
how
some of
many
your guys'
hours I put
favorite?
into that game.
I'm seeing.
Even after like multiple games came out after it, I still put hours into Here Comes the Pain.
Sorry, my dog's barking outside. He's going to
Oh,
town.
good.
Trayvon Womack says me and Nick think alike. Yeah, probably the drug.
And now you got all those random mobile WWE games.
Yeah, like the card one, which just makes me want to kill myself.
Like I'll
You
jump
got
into Super. I'm like, I'm bored. I'm gonna jump into Supercard, and within like 10 minutes, I'm like, I'm already over it.
Exactly.
And they got like what was it, WWE Champions game, which is their version of Bejeweled.
I've got Trayvon, or I'm sorry, Nielsen says every SmackDown versus Raw game was his favorite. Here Comes the Pain and Shut Your Mouth for Trayvon Womack's. Crush Hour, Jesus, Kristen, you're really.
You know what I really liked?
Memory
was on SmackDown 2 doing the story mode, and it never ended. How you can go for like 10 years in story mode.
I wonder if anyone's still playing that story mode.
Because what it was is you're a wrestler, you get booked on the show you're on, and it just goes and goes and goes and never stops.
Fuck yeah, dude.
And I loved that.
Darius says, I still have a PS2 because of SmackDown versus Raw 2006. And Here Comes the Pain. Look, I'm going to be honest with you. Found my PS2 the other day. Thought, man, there's probably no disc in the disc drive. I open it up and it's SmackDown versus Raw 2007. I lose my fucking mind. I immediately scoured my house for like AV cables. I didn't even know that we had anymore. It's fantastic. Wrestling, I feel like wrestling games used to be a lot more fun. I sound like such a jerk me off hipster. Like, oh, they used to be cool. Like, they used to be fucking insane. Like, I get you can kill people with a book now, but until I can be Brock Lesnar F5ing a dock worker off of a building, get the fuck out of here.
Well, that was
Take your book. I want Brock Lesnar killing people.
Well, that was like in that WrestleMania. It was either WrestleMania 19 or Day of Reckoning, where you're in like a warehouse. You're like climbing up this like staircase scaffolding. You can just throw people off of it because you've got these security guards coming at you that you got to fight off. I'm like, what is this?
It's fantastic. I love it.
So, for all the people that have asked, we're not going to be doing gameplay stuff of WWE 2K20. It's just
instead we'll be doing gameplay.
For two different reasons. A, I'm just not interested in anything I've seen in the game, and B, the last 2 years when we did put up content, you guys, the viewers of this channel, didn't really care for it. So why put the videos up if no one's gonna be interested in watching them when they can go to all those other great channels like Dank Ops, you can go to Smack Talk, you can go to Macho T, who does great work with the video game stuff. It's like, hey, at some point we can't do everything. There's people that are gonna be better.
So instead of game-playing WWE 2K20, instead we're going to be doing a full playthrough of WWF No Mercy. I'll do it. I'll download an N64 emulator, and we'll title it as 2K20, and I'll act like it is 2K. I'll get the mods to have current roster.
You know, Omega's trying to get the AEW game to be like the old No Mercy game. He's trying to find the old developers and stuff that made that game.
Why? That game looks. Why would the fuck would anybody
not to look exactly like it, but to have that kind of arcade style to their game?
Man, I don't know. I feel like if you're playing a wrestling game, I feel like going like.
I mean, have you seen the Chikara game that came out today?
No, what is it on?
Steam. It's 10% off right now. $13.
What's it called?
Chikara. Just Google Chikara video game.
I was just gonna go on Steam because I'm a gamer boy and I have Steam open.
It's called Chikara Action Arcade Wrestling.
Nice.
And it's not supposed to be like looking real and super simulated. It's, got a cartoon looking style, and it's exactly what you would expect from Chikara.
Well,
got a guy.
That's Chikara.
You've got a guy that's fucking basically Cyclops shooting stuff out of his eyes. You've got another guy doing what looks like a Kamehameha blast.
Did you just say Kamehameha.
Have you not watched Dragon Ball
That
Z?
is not what it is.
Kamehameha, isn't it?
Right, but you definitely didn't just say that, Tim.
Well,
Like,
I emphasized the
you
syllables.
put some wonky ass emphasization on that. That's not I'm making up
Anyways,
words. And that's also great that, like, because Chikara has some fucking characters in their
and
roster.
that's what they're trying to build this game around. Is not, oh hey, this is a simulation wrestling game. No, this is an arcade wrestling game with a bunch of just crazy ass characters.
I love that. I think Chikara. You know what I want to do? I really want to do an entire series dedicated to like Chikara wrestling because, like, boy oh boy, they have a lot of stuff that we could just sit and talk about and like laugh at. It's great. Look, like, oh my god, they have the Swamp Man. They have a dude that just wears a fucking ghillie suit. Jervis is really big in that promotion too. Gentleman Jervis is my favorite wrestler. Him and Orange Cassidy are god. They
Lord.
put out they had the stats up on the fucking AEW website today.
Oh, yeah.
My favorite thing is like looking at Orange Cassidy's stats because it fits him so well. It's just 0.
Well, he hasn't had a match.
Well, you know what that means, Tim?
What?
That means he's undefeated.
Technically, I guess you can say.
Oh, good.
But talk about AEW and their stats. They're incorrect technically.
Hey, you know what that was called?
Huh.
A segue.
So, if you look at the AEW website, they've now got the statistics under all the wrestler name, like the wrestler profile things.
Yep.
And some of them are incorrect. Well, kind of. Because, like, you got Christopher Daniels here. It says, in singles competition, he's 0-1. In 2-on-2 tag, he's 0-0. And in trios, he's 3-3. But his overall record is 3-2. So I'm like, I tweeted out, I said, hey, am I looking at something wrong here? If his record shows 0-1, 0-0, 3-1, why is he 3-2? And someone corrected me. They're like, hey, he did an 8-man tag on AEW Dark that they're not showing in the actual records, but in the overall. So why put it in the overall if it's not considered, you know what I mean? They're only showing singles, tag, and trio. Mm-hmm. Why add the 8-man stuff to your overall? It was just, it's confusing for somebody that just like, oh man, these guys are trying to be super realistic. And then it's like, well, why is it not adding up, you know?
Exactly.
So I just say, don't put it in the overall and you'll be fine.
Zach. So,
but
Sinclair Saturday asked me, hey, Tim and Nick, what do you think about Liv Morgan being drafted last for Raw? And what I have to say about it is absolutely nothing. I don't give a fuck. What I do give a shit about is we have some fucking big names as quote unquote free agents right now. I'm going to read off these names. Authors of Pain, Hawkins and Ryder, Dana Brooke, Drake Maverick, which assumably, like, since there's no more 205 Live, he's back to being a wrestler.
They had 205 Live last Friday.
But he's the fucking general manager.
Yeah, I don't know about that. Like, what? He's the general manager on that show, but then on Raw, he's a wrestler trying to get the 24/7 title so his wife will sleep with him, even though there was a whole week where he was the champion, but she still wouldn't sleep with him for some reason. Anyways.
Fire and Desire, Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville, Luke Harper, Mojo Rawley, fuck you. No Way Jose. You still think I like him now? Nah, I still fucking. No Way Jose, Sarah Logan, The Iconics, and Cesaro. So
now, one thing.
My number one thing.
Hold on.
Go.
Before you go, WWE may have messed up on their website and listed the Iconics on Raw, because when you go to on the WWE app, so when you go to the WWE app and you click Superstars, you're gonna look at the Superstars, and whatever brand they're on, there's not a logo, but their background color behind their photo indicates what brand they're on. So if you're on Raw, you got a red background. If you're on NXT, you've got a yellow background. And then for some reason, if you're on SmackDown, you've got a black background. Well, a lot of these undrafted names still have the same color background that they had before the draft. But the Iconics background are now red when they were SmackDown superstars. So they could be going to Raw, and it was just accidentally updated early.
It could have been, but I don't. To be honest with you, I don't even care. That's not a big name to me. There are actual legitimate fucking names in this. And I'm really excited to see what we can do with him. Guys like Cesaro, who's facing our friend of the show, Mansoor.
Here's the thing with Cesaro.
What do you want, Tim?
Cesaro was not drafted on SmackDown when he was in the SmackDown pool. He sent out one tweet right after SmackDown and just says free agent, and he hasn't tweeted or done anything on social media since. My theory, I don't know if this is going to happen, when they said, if you're not signed, you're a free agent able to sign with any brand you want. They didn't say sign with Raw or SmackDown. So could Cesaro be keeping himself quiet because he's actually going to NXT?
Okay, so we'll talk about that in a second.
Okay.
Because I first of all, with regarding Cesaro, you put that son of a bitch on SmackDown. But I completely understand why it would be appealing to see him in NXT. And I think it would be fantastic if you only were planning on bringing two guys back to NXT to kind of, I wouldn't say restart and rebuild, but like help grow NXT still. It's Finn Balor and Cesaro, mother-fucker.
Well, we've
It's
seen
those two dudes. And Finn's back.
We've seen 4 main roster superstars get moved back to NXT. So far.
Fashion Police, Finn, who's the other one?
Killian Dane. When some don't even consider him a main roster superstar since they did nothing with Sanity.
Yeah, he wasn't a no. 3. They technically 4, 3.
Right.
Hey, what's going on, George Sean Cox? Welcome in. Okay, so then we have Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville, who I think have gotten significantly better, especially Sonya, over the last couple of weeks. I don't mind watching one of their matches, and I usually hate watching them. I would like to see them go to SmackDown. Where would you like to see them?
I think they should go to SmackDown because in that draft, SmackDown did not get a good women's division. And if you guys did not see, tonight, WWE, Triple H, he revealed a blockbuster trade with 2 women from Raw going to SmackDown. And he revealed that Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross are now SmackDown superstars because SmackDown Executive Director Bruce Pritchard made that happen. And then they kind of didn't say that Raw will get 2 names eventually.
We'll speculate on who we think it's going to be. But I want to keep going over these draft names, and I want to go over a couple more because there are some interesting names that could actually be of value, like a tag team like the Authors of Pain.
Yeah.
Where would you like to see them go? Because now that an actual tag team, our tag team champions, the largest motherfuckers on the planet, the War Raiders, were fantastic. I love them to death. Authors of Pain do something. And I would hope to see them. I'd like to see them against the I wanted to call them the Viking Experience. I fucking hate myself. I want to see them up against War Raiders. Yeah, I know that's the finishing move. Don't remind me because it's a stupid fuck. I'm glad that like kids on social media were able to bully the WWE into changing that stupid fucking name to something better. Thank God.
So here's my thing with the AOP.
Go ahead. The AOP. That's a shittier name.
Whatever you want to say. So you've got your big guy tag team on Raw in the Viking Raiders. Then you've got, I guess you could say, your big guy tag team on SmackDown with Heavy Machinery.
They're the best tag team in all of WWE.
So where does AOP fit? Do you just stick them on any brand and then you got 2 big hoss tag teams?
Back in NXT.
I mean, they were great in NXT.
Were they, or were Ciampa and Gargano really fucking good in NXT? Was it Ciampa able to carry those 2 dudes through a fucking match, or was it they were good? Because they weren't good. They were dog shit, and you can't deny.
No, I thought AOP put on some really good matches.
What?
Because I think AOP were really good at working with smaller guys.
Right, because the smaller guys are fucking better than them.
But they worked a good match with TM61, and TM61 wasn't that great.
You insult Shane Thorne and Nick Miller again, I'll leave the fucking chat. You leave those men alone. They were my favorite to play in 2K. You
know who was a great NXT tag team and then was just not used and was dog shit on the main roster?
Literally every NXT tag team? I don't know.
No, the Ascension.
Yeah, we talk about this all the time. They were gods. Thank you, Luke, for the 199. We're going to talk about that in a second because I want to throw that name on there as well. And Kristen with $2 says Cesaro to NXT UK and defeat Walter for the title. To be
No.
honest with you, I see it. Yeah, fuck you. Shut up. Yeah.
No.
Yeah, Kristen's right. Fuck yeah, Kristen.
And you said it correctly. It's a Walter. They all call him Walter with the V for some reason.
The last name I want to read off of this list is another tag team, because I feel like WWE's tag team division's pretty dog shit, stinky stupid right now. Hawkins and Ryder. I feel like you're done with the whole Kurt Hawkins being winless. He's got his title win. I mean, fuck it. Why not just make them seem a little bit better than...
Uh-oh, did we lose Nick? Nick, are you there?
These undrafted people look perfect for NXT. I'm not going to lie to you, dog.
He's back.
Who's back?
You cut out for a second.
Well, that's good. What is the last thing you heard me say?
You said they are no longer doing the losing streak thing with Hawkins.
Yeah, so they're not doing the losing streak. So you could make Hawkins and Ryder actually maybe like, I don't know, your solid mid-card tag team, you know, good enough for a 15-minute spot on a 3-hour episode of fucking Monday Night. Or fuck it, send them back to NXT and let them fight Undisputed Era. Give me the major undisputed.
Uh-oh. He cut out again.
Is it just oh god, fucked it. Literally nothing works for us, dude. Skype,
be fine.
Discord, fucking carrier pigeon. I'll kill myself before we're able to get a full show on with no air.
I think we'll be fine. It happens. It happens to the best of them.
What happened to those?
I mean, I think they're a great... I don't know about being champions again with them, but they're a tag team when it's like, oh, yeah, we got this new tag team. We need to see how they work on the main roster. Let's have them work with Hawkins and Ryder because we know they can be solid. And if something happens because they're not used to working, like if they sign an indie tag team and they have them work NXT and they think, hey, these guys are good enough for the main roster, put them with Hawkins and Ryder because if something happens and like they just, I don't know, the larger crowd screws with them or something, Hawkins and Ryder will be there to be able to calm everything down. They're the veterans that can help the younger talent. And so you keep them as a tag team, they can help them younger tag teams, especially, I said indie guys, but especially tag teams that were put together in the PC that are guys that came from not wrestling backgrounds.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, fuck it. Put them down there. They're good. They're not that terrible. And Zack Ryder's he reminds me a lot like the way Randy Orton. Just a very safe wrestler. He doesn't do a lot of like crazy shit, but he does enough good stuff to where you don't really realize he's not doing like a flipper 7.
So I'm going to go off topic for a second because of something you just said. You said he's a safe wrestler.
No.
So on WWE Backstage, hold on, goddammit. On WWE Backstage tonight on FS1, for some reason they said that Stone Cold Steve Austin had recently mentioned that he's got one more match in him. I never heard him say that, but anyways.
Yeah, he said it like on a podcast. He was like, I'd like to do one more match.
Like apparently he said it to Sky Sports or something. But anyways,
yeah.
They asked all the people on the show. It was Renee, Booker, Paige, and Christian. They said,
Booker,
who do you think would be a great final opponent for Stone Cold Steve Austin? And I think Booker had a great idea. He said, well, you need somebody that can go in there and keep Austin safe, that can work a good match against Austin. And he thought that person was Dolph Ziggler, someone that is great in the ring, can make Austin look good if he's not, up to par for where wrestlers today are, but also he can keep Austin safe in that ring.
Hold on. Is this kayfabe?
I mean, one of the first things they talked about on this show was, hey, we've got a new executive director of SmackDown in Bruce Pritchard. And they also said, let's talk about some storylines. How about one storyline that came from Raw executive director Paul Heyman? The storyline with Rusev, Lana, and Bobby Lashley.
Oh, that's Kai's favorite storyline. Kai loves Bobby Lashley.
They literally said, if you like this storyline, this is a Paul Heyman storyline if we've ever seen one.
Oh my goodness.
And then
I quoted your tweet. Like, who the fuck, like, if you didn't think Paul Heyman was going to be the one to orchestrate the cuckold storyline, I don't know who the fuck was going to do it.
I mean, Heyman's the one that said, hey, Maria, tell your husband he's not the baby daddy, which we're going to talk about that in a minute.
Hey, Maria, tell your husband he's not with the fucking company.
Well, he is. He just wants out. But I mean, also they're trying to make that show just seem as real as possible.
That's
like,
good.
Like when they had the UFC show, that's what it's basically supposed to be, like the old UFC Tonight show, where everything is able to be talked about, and you talk about it in a realistic manner. Like, as soon as Triple H announced Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross being traded over to SmackDown, across the bottom of the screen it said, breaking news. WWE has announced that Friday Night SmackDown has acquired Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross in a big, what did they call it? Big, they didn't say monument. What was the word they called it? There's a big trade.
Meaty clause?
In a big trade or something like that, trying to make it seem realistic, like when you would be watching just ESPN and all of a sudden at the bottom of your screen, breaking news, Jaguars acquires so-and-so. That's how they're trying to make this show seem as if everything that they're talking about in WWE is real and like a real sport kind of thing. And I liked that.
Look, okay, I love so much that Fox has a lot of investment and a lot of like hope for the WWE where they're making this seem real. But Jesus Christ, if it cut to that shitty draft room one more fucking time, the war room they called it, I was going to lynch myself from a fucking building.
Hey, Fox brought their robot with them.
Shit. I don't know why they brought that robot with them.
Apparently his name's Cletus.
It's just fucking stupid.
But
I don't know. A lot of this looks way too overboard to make it seem like I don't get the going back and forth of make it seem like a real sport, but also acknowledge the fact that Paul Heyman decided, hey, Rusev, we're going to cuck you with a big muscular black man.
Like they literally said,
confusing.
If you like this, like we're going to talk about storylines. And then like, this is a Paul Heyman storyline. I'm like, okay, that's a little too far.
Tim.
What?
Tim.
What?
I hope they bring back the Jonathan Coachman segment where fans got to call in. Bring it back!
I mean, if it was NBC, probably, because NBC on some of their recap shows, they let fans call in.
It was it Joey Styles? Joey Styles did it in the 90s, and Coach did it in, like, the year 2006, and all it was for people complaining, like, whoever booked this is retarded, and Coachman would be like, let's go to the next caller.
I remember some of that, but...
Is he dead now? Is he dead?
Coach?
Is he alive? Yeah.
No, he's the lead anchor on the pay-per-view panels.
Hard to believe he was on ESPN. Because he
for
just
a long time. Coach is the voice of fucking Madden.
Huh?
When you're loading into a game and you've got like they're talking about like the halftime stuff, especially. That's Coach in Madden.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. He started with last year's game.
That's weird.
Anyway. Jonathan Coachman doing voiceovers for the Madden game.
Continue on, because you had some shit that
getting back to your free agent stuff. The last one you talked about, you said Hawkins and Ryder would be a really good tag team to utilize.
Yeah, they'd be. I just think they'd be great in NXT, and I'd like to see them there. Just circle back around to our like 9 fucking extension minute conversation about that.
But I mean, other names here on this undrafted list. You got Noe Jose. They're not gonna do anything with him.
I don't care. I don't care.
Sarah Logan, put her with her husband. Viking Raiders.
Put her with the Viking Raiders.
And she can be a Viking in the women's division, and then she can also accompany them to the ring for their matches, and it'd actually be pretty cool.
Why is she not good anymore? What the fuck happened?
It's not that she's not good. It's just we don't see her.
Remember how dog shit she was with her promos at first.
Well, she's never been the best promo.
The Riot Squad.
She's never been the best promo, but she's always been like super solid in the ring.
What's gonna happen to Ruby Riott?
I think
where's she gonna go?
I mean, you can't
NXT.
say. No,
she's the one that beat Shayna Baszler.
No, I think it's gonna be Rhea Ripley. It's got to be Rhea Ripley.
No, because I mean, Rhea Ripley gives off way too much of like she's the heel vibe, but Shayna's the heel.
It doesn't
double
matter.
Turn.
The crowd loves Rhea Ripley on NXT, and also you got to get that belt off of Shayna, and I think you take that belt off of her at TakeOver.
Tim, we've been saying that for a year.
But it's finally the right time. You finally got the.
We've been saying that for a year.
I know.
She's never gonna lose.
It's just here's what's gonna happen. Rhea's gonna face Bianca Belair in a #1 contenders match and whip her ass. Bianca's gonna go to the main roster with her husband Montez Ford, and then we're gonna finally get someone to beat Shayna. And it's going to be Rhea Ripley so Shayna can finally come to the main roster. I know we said that for every TakeOver pay-per-view. Oh, this has got to be the time Shayna loses. This has got to be. But I don't know.
I hate making these plans. Like, we have such great plans. We're feeding good creative to WWE. And whatever psychopath that is running the NXT women's division thinks, I hear all these suggestions about how we can move one of our top stars up to the main roster who's ready. But no, she's going to do the same thing over and over. And you're going to enjoy it. Fuck you. It sucks. It's very, like, they're doing very, like, boy, oh boy, she is the Seth Rollins of NXT, is she not?
Kinda.
Jesus Christ. That's a very daunting realization. Luke Might says the Bobby, Lana, and Rusev storyline. Pretty much Bobby Lashley fucking Lana in front of Rusev. Yeah. Yeah. Welcome to WWE. Are you surprised? Do you ever remember the year 2005? Do you remember, like, whatever year it was? Wetback on national television. That was insane. Do you not remember that rap?
Oh, wait.
Do you remember that? It was when it was, I believe it was around the time of Cena. No, it wasn't Cena winning the US title, because Eddie and then JBL beat Eddie for it, and then Cena beat JBL for it. But he did this rap that, like, in hindsight, was super racist. Oh, it was
a lot
insane.
of them JBL Eddie Guerrero things were super racist as well.
JBL found Mexican people at a border and called them Eddie Guerrero's family and said, "Go back to your home." That's you. We need to do a whole retrospective on just how fucked up JBL was.
I like today when they hold on, I gotta find this JBL tweet really fast.
What a shitty statement you just said. Never have I thought, boy, I want to go look at John Bradshaw Lath Twitter.
No, it was actually
because
his best friend Bruce Pritchard is now in charge of SmackDown, so he tweeted at him. He said, "Hey, Bruce Pritchard, congrats on becoming the head of SmackDown. As longest reigning WWE champ, I'm happy to come back. Please just trade Braun, Brock, Cain, and Fury to Raw, and then maybe I'll make a list." He said, "And a few others, I'll make you a list."
Man, would you like, if you could, I want to see him come back and wrestle.
I also like that Eric Bischoff congratulated Bruce Pritchard on his new role and put him over.
Well, apparently, wasn't Bruce doing like 90% of the booking for SmackDown anyway? Because Bischoff would like
not do anything.
Bischoff. That's what I heard from.
That's what I've heard. That a lot of weeks,
Nick, hot take, please.
Like a lot of weeks when Vince couldn't be there, Triple H and Bruce were in charge, and if Triple H wasn't there, Bruce was in charge of everything.
Oh. I've never been the biggest fan of Bruce Pritchard. I think he's kind of weird. I mean, I just pray to God that something changes. Pray to God. Remember when JBL gave Eddie Guerrero's mom a storyline heart attack?
Oh, Lord.
I do remember that. Storylines were really fun. Like, looking back at it in hindsight, like, the year 2005 at SummerSlam hosted the custody of a real human child. Like, holy fuck. Wrestling used to be fucking wild.
And now that human child got killed by Brock Lesnar.
Literally, he got demolished by Brock. Yeah, who would have thought that Rey Mysterio fought that hard for his son's fucking, like, to
custody?
That's the word. I almost said ownership, but I don't think you can own a human being. I don't think you can own anymore. He fought and battled for the custody of his son, only to then, like, 20 years later, or like 18 years later, let his son just get dismantled by Brock Lesnar in front of him. What a shitty dad.
Well, hey, like Ray said, I wanted to be there for my son, but Brock Lesnar beat me down too bad, and I couldn't do anything about it.
I feel like Rey Mysterio could, like, hold his own in a fight. I don't think Brock Lesnar's that tough. I've seen him get knocked out.
Brock Lesnar?
Yeah.
Well, Cain did. That's why Brock's got a scar under his, right eye. Mm-hmm. From Cain Velasquez. And then Cain said, I'm going to match that on the other side.
So can we talk about that match for a little bit?
Go for it.
Because it upsets me.
Why?
Because they took the belt off of Kofi for a fucking match that doesn't involve the belt.
It does. The belt is on the line.
Are you fucking kidding me? Cain Velasquez is going to be WWE champion?
No, I think Brock is going to win because this is WWE, and since Brock lost to him in the UFC, they're going to give Brock his win back, and then they're going to say that these guys are 1-1. We need a rubber match.
Nah, I want Cain Velasquez to win to be WWE champion.
Here's what you can do.
Usher in the new era with
Here's what you can do. Cain beats Brock.
Yep.
Bray beats Seth.
Sure.
Cain goes over to Raw with Ray. WWE Championship moves to Raw. Bray is a SmackDown superstar. Universal title goes over to SmackDown. Make that belt blue.
No.
Just saying. Throwing it out there.
Shut up. Stop. No. Cain
Whoa.
Velasquez. Sorry, Cain Velasquez, WWE champion. I keep forgetting that we're doing a show.
But if you got, I don't know. Cain needs
surgery.
Ray.
I don't.
No. Cain may not need surgery.
Who cares? Who gives a shit if he needs Rey Mysterio? Fucking Brock Lesnar needs Paul Heyman, and it works.
Well, no, Ray's a Raw superstar though. If Cain's WWE champion, he's got to be on SmackDown.
He's not gonna, motherfucker. If you think Ray is gonna like continue to wrestle as seriously as he is, he's not. He's done. They're starting to weed him out. You can tell.
Ray said he wants to tag team with Cain as well.
Yeah, he also wants to tag team with Dominic.
Yeah, who knows when that's going to happen. Cain and Ray is more likely.
That's 100% going to happen to AEW. I almost said, man, it'd be cool to see Dominic or Ray and his son face Benoit and his son. I don't think Benoit can fight anyone right now. I hear he's injured. Where's he been?
He's permanently injured anyways.
He's permanently injured. Holy shit. He put his son in the crippler crossface. Yeah, he did.
Anyways.
Oh, goodness gracious.
So, as we start to wrap things up here slowly.
I would hate that title to be blue. I do.
I mean, you got the SmackDown tag titles that are blue. No one says anything about that.
Cain and Brock at Mania for the rubber match, probably. I see it.
So, you said something about Cain and his needing surgery. He may not, because apparently Rey Mysterio has been going to Colombia for stem cell and stuff.
Holy shit, has he really?
Rey, apparently, according to Meltzer, has told Cain all about this, so Cain may go and get stem cell therapy in his knee to where he won't need surgery.
Dude, George John Cox's Nick is smoking, thank God. Thanks, John. I like to think that Rey Mysterio goes out of this fucking country to go cure his knee with magic medicine, and now Cain Velasquez is joining him.
Well, I don't know if it's 100% legal yet in the States.
I'm sure it's not legal, Tim. That's why it's in, where is it? Barcelona?
Colombia.
Same thing, right? They're near each other, right?
I don't know.
Are they
I'm not a geography person.
I dropped out of high school. I don't know.
I don't know. Anyways.
Okay. So, yeah, as we begin to wrap up a little bit here, I do want to talk about John Morrison.
Go for it.
Because was it confirmed? Like, did he announce that, like, I signed?
So nobody has confirmed it. Nobody has announced it. It's just the news has been out there that he talked with AEW, talked with WWE, and it looks like he's picked WWE.
Okay.
So nothing has been confirmed by anybody, because I think that's a big enough name where WWE does not want to ruin that one.
Oh, absolutely. Where would you send him?
SmackDown. But here's a funny thing. This morning, Luchasaurus posted a picture of him and Jungle Boy with John Morrison and said, "Hey, we made a new friend." Now, I know they all live in L.A., so it could have just been they were at the same gym or something in L.A.
Yeah. I don't know. I'd like to see him. It doesn't really matter where he goes. Sure, SmackDown. SmackDown would fit him.
I'm just thinking of
he won't get lost in a 3 hour. It'll be memorable.
I was just thinking like what brand got the better picks and stuff, and I'm like, SmackDown can use another like good. He's not going to main event, but it'll be at the top of like that Intercontinental title.
Yeah, like him and Kofi can fuck shit up down.
Him and Nakamura have some good matches for the IC title.
Him and Sammy could fuck it up too. Yeah, just go ahead and sign him and put him on SmackDown.
That's what I would do.
I know Vince McMahon's a big fan of the show. He's listening.
So
Vince McMahon is actually Luke Might in chat. That's his burner account. Little do we know. That's why he says I want John Morrison to go to NXT.
I'm just because I'm looking at the WWE roster right now, and I'm like, yeah, SmackDown can use another like just great male superstar.
Man, you know who could have been a great male superstar for SmackDown?
Who?
Mike Canellis. You know who's not going to be a good SmackDown superstar?
Mike Canellis.
Mike Canellis.
So if you're unaware what's going on with Mike Canellis, I briefly touched on this on last night's Raw review. Mike Canellis went on social media and basically said, hey, today I asked for my release. And then he went on about why he asked for his release. And he said, hey, yes, I know I just re-signed a 5-year contract, but I don't want it anymore. He said that he doesn't like only working 1 day a week and still getting paid like he's working a full schedule. He said he doesn't want his children to grow up thinking that it's okay to do the bare minimum but still make that pay like you're out there doing what everybody else is doing. He said he wants to be able to work for his money. He wants to go work in the UK. He wants to go work in Japan. He wants to go work in Mexico. He wants to be doing multiple days a week on the road, and WWE is not letting him do that. And so he wants out. But it's like you signed the fucking 5-year deal in June. Now, here's one caveat before I let you go. He could have thought, because apparently they gave him a pretty significant raise from what he got initially. So he could have had that feeling of, well, if they're going to pay me more, obviously they've got to do something with me, right?
Absolutely. I guarantee you that's what his thought process. Here's the issue. I'm gonna be honest, and I don't think a lot of people are up in arms about him I feel like more people are giving him sympathy about his request for his release because of the storyline he's in right now. And I don't give a fuck what anybody says. He's not good. He's not that fucking good. And for him to turn down a 5-year fucking he signed the 5-year contract.
He's making June.
He signed it in June. Sure, he's working fucking 1 day a week. He's not that good. He's not a guy like Cesaro who could benefit, who would be an asset in Japan or be an asset in some indie. Yeah, sure. What the fuck was he doing? The Kingdom with Matt Tavern and Ring of Honor? Who gives a fuck? Who cares?
He left Ring of Honor and went to Impact and was doing some good stuff in Impact. He was the Miracle Mike Bennett at Impact and was actually doing some good stuff.
Buddy, how many times have we heard, oh, they were doing good stuff in Impact? Was it really that good? Or Impact? So
no, it actually was. He was one of the
light.
He was one of the bright sides of Impact.
Well, okay, I'm assuming the bright sides of Impact were Eric Young, him, Mike
Eric
Bennett.
Young had been gone for a long time before he got there.
No
Eric
shit?
Eric Young had already been to in WWE and NXT.
All right, then fuck it. It's Mike Bennett and fucking what's that dude's name that no one does anything, but he's really hot. EC3.
EC3 was already back in WWE as well, I think. He
Christ.
Came right when like all those guys left Impact at the same time.
Okay, here's the thing.
Okay.
Where does he fit? Where does he fit in somewhere like New Japan? He can only fit in somewhere like Ring of Honor or Impact.
I think he could benefit in somewhere like an Impact or a Ring of Honor or a New Japan in like a good, solid tag team.
I mean, there's an obvious answer for choosing not to acknowledge, but I mean, there is
put him back with the Kingdom.
No, there is that other company, that small company over on TNT.
I don't see them. I don't
wanting
see
him.
It's not that they wouldn't want him.
At least not right away, because they don't want to seem like they're just swooping up ex-WWE guys.
That
JK,
and he doesn't fit into their
son of a bitch.
He doesn't fit into their indie darling mold.
Right. Neither does fucking Sean Spears or Jack Hager.
Sean Spears did because he made himself.
I will kill you.
What does an indie darling do? He gets himself.
I don't know. Someone that was good.
No. What does an indie darling do? They get themselves over with something they created. He created the 10 thing and got that over widely.
No, he didn't. He didn't create it. He was just told to do it, and
he
managed to get it over because he was good.
Came up with that idea.
Did he?
Yes.
I didn't know that. I thought I definitely would have pictured.
And he is the reason why guys like Luke Harper and Mike Canellis are not going to get their release, because he asked for his release, Sean Spears that is, went public, and WWE gave it to him. Then what happened? He got signed by AEW and was actually made into somebody on their show. So now a guy that they felt was, if we release him, no one's going to want to do shit with this guy. So if they have other people that they feel the same way about, like Mike Canellis, they're not going to release him for the fear of someone else might take him and actually use him prominently like they've done with Sean Spears. I mean, look at Kenta. That was another guy that they're like, oh, fuck, this guy's just always hurt. We'll let him go. Now he's fucking Bullet Club and ran great through the fucking G1.
Yeah, he did dismantle that G1.
So now they're looking at like, shit, we're letting these guys go that we thought were dog shit, and they're actually getting good use out of them in these other companies. We ain't letting nobody go.
I think the thing with Kenta is, like, I think Kenta had to throw balls to the wall with how his kind of return to the indies came. Because he said, like, if it doesn't pan around this time, I'm just not going to wrestle.
Yeah.
And I felt bad because, like, goddamn, Kenta's good, but goddamn, Kenta's kind of boring at times. His go to sleep is not good.
He's been good in New Japan.
I think I did enjoy the beatdown that he gave Shibata.
Oh yeah.
I shook Shibata's hand. Do you remember that?
Yep.
That was so fun. Where was
So-
that at? That was
San Francisco?
San Francisco. Yeah, it was on. We're on Alcatraz Island, right?
I believe so.
No, not Alcatraz Island. I'm
It's
fucking
somewhere
stupid.
over there. I don't know. I don't live there.
Some god.
It wasn't Alcatraz, but it was something like that. But going back to Mike Canellis really fast, something I
Yeah.
wanted to touch on: WWE ruining their own storylines on the WWE Network. So
You were hated about this.
So on June 1st, 2019, we get a intergender tag team match on Raw. It is Becky Lynch and Seth Rollins against Maria and Mike Canellis.
Mm-hmm.
And after the match, Maria yells at her husband for being a loser and says that I'm pregnant and this baby's not yours. So then we get all these other weeks of maybe the baby's Ricochet's, maybe Rusev's the father. You're a piece of shit, Mike. You're no good. You can't father my child because you can't even impregnate me. Maybe I'll have Becky get me pregnant. Okay?
Two cuckold storylines with 4 different people.
So then they film an episode of Ride Along on September 9th when they're going for Raw in Madison Square Garden. Mm-hmm. This episode airs last night. Mike Canellis and Maria are 2 of the 5 wrestlers featured on this show. And they're all lovey-dovey. They're all, we're husband-wife. And she starts talking about the new baby. And what should we name the new baby? Mike, do you have any suggestions on the name of our new baby? When we're supposed to believe in storyline that Mike ain't man enough and didn't get her pregnant, it was somebody else. Ruining their own goddamn storylines on their own goddamn network shows.
I mean, isn't that just kind of par for the course for them? Like, is it really that out of the ordinary? They break kayfabe.
Yes and no.
Thank you, Bobby Ager, for the $2. First mistake in announcing his release on Twitter. Yeah.
Well, I mean, like I said, Spears did that and he got his release. So
I'll spear you.
But
how about Moxley being stripped? Yeah, it's understandable. I think they're.
Well, that's an actual New Japan rule. You don't show up for you don't show up when you're supposed to defend your belt. You're stripped. It happened to, I think it was Togi Makabe in 2015. He was bedridden with the flu and couldn't make a show, so they stripped him of the never belt.
I love you, Tyler Graham. I was talking about cuckold storylines, and Tyler Graham asked, "Cockhold storylines? What's that?" Oh, Tyler, Google it.
But I was just like, you've got this storyline with Mike and Maria, and Mike's not the father or whatever, and then you're on Ride Along filmed a month after you started the storyline. Now they did play into the 24/7 thing where Mike's like, hey, maybe I'll come back and fight for the 24/7 title. And Maria goes, I don't know if you should do that because I'll just take the belt from you again. So I liked that. Maria also did say that she was scared after that because she's been very clumsy since getting pregnant. She thought she was going to fall with the belt when she was walking through the backstage area. But anyways, I'd say go watch that Ride Along stuff just for the Braun, EC3, and Drake Maverick stuff, though.
Yes.
It was super funny when EC3 and Drake Maverick are driving through Times Square, and they go, hey, look, it's Madison Square Garden, but we're not allowed to stop there yet because we have to go pick up Braun Strowman. So they drive like 10 minutes out of their way to go pick up Braun Strowman, and Braun literally walks up to their SUV and goes, get out. And Maverick goes, why do I have to sit in the back seat? And Braun opens the door, literally grabs Drake Maverick by the arm and just yanks him out of the SUV like he's 10 pounds. So Braun sticks him in the back seat, throws his luggage in the back seat with him, and then cranks his chair all the way back and leans it back. So Maverick's got like no room back there. It's great. And EC3 is just sitting there driving, laughing the whole time.
As we begin our slow descent into the wrap-up here, I want to let everyone know that I do, in fact, have a Twitter for everyone in chat that's been wondering this entire time. I see all the comments saying, I wish I could follow Nick on Twitter. He's so funny and handsome. Ha ha ha. It's at ArmWeek21, or you can just follow us at PWUnlimited. Tim, where the fuck can they find you?
You can find me basically everywhere. Instagram, social medias, Twitters, at Timmy Buddy.
Sinclair Saturday says, Nick, pick the name for the baby. What was Kai? What was the name of the baby from American Horror Story Cult? What was his name? The name of the kid. No, Cult. The kid. Ozzy. Osmandius. I want to name him that from American. It means the King of Kings.
Here's a question for you before we close this out. If you hear the name Freddy, you think boy or girl?
Then if I hear the name Freddy, do I think boy or girl? I think like cat. I think a cat.
Well, no, if you hear someone's name Freddy, like Freddie Prinze Jr. or whatever, if you think of someone named Freddy, you think boy or girl?
Boy.
That's the name of Mike and Maria's daughter. They named her Freddy.
That's wholesome.
But
that's wholesome.
With that,
thank you very much, everybody, for tuning in. We will see you guys in next time. You're going to be live tomorrow for AEW recap, and then you'll be live again
Thursday morning for NXT.
Thursday morning for NXT.
I have a question for the chat. Do you like the NXT review being Thursday morning, or would you like me to move that to Thursday night? Let me know either in the live chat or in the comments if you like the Thursday morning review of NXT, or because the reason I did Thursday morning was to get it out as quick as possible for people so you don't forget the show. But do you prefer us doing them more in the evening, so that way more people can maybe join in? Just a question, because I want to be able to get as many people able to see it as possible. Yeah, it goes up on YouTube and it's a quote unquote video on demand after, and you can watch it whenever. But I know a lot of people like to interact in the live chat. So would you guys prefer it being Thursday morning, or would you like me to do it on Thursday night instead? And I see a lot of people in the chat saying night. So we'll keep it.
I have another suggestion for how we can do that. If you want to try something new, depending on how we'll talk about it after the show.
We'll talk about it after. We'll do Thursday morning this week.
Cool.
And again, I'll ask the people that are there live or in the comments on that episode, and then we'll adjust par for the course the following week if we keep it Thursday morning or we move to Thursday night. And I see a lot of people here saying night, so maybe that's what we'll do. Yeah. It's not this week, but next week. We'll keep the same schedule this week, and maybe we'll adjust for next week.
Awesome. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. We appreciate it, and we'll all see you next time. And remember, call your mom. She probably misses you. Thanks, folks. Bye.
Have a good night, guys.